beautiful sunny day, man. I got some peppers to pick, especially these habaneros. So I've got the orange habaneros here and down to the back. Well, more orange one here, red ones there, but I want to show you guys these red ones. I want to grab some of these and we're going to make a lovely smoked peach habanero pepper sauce or hot sauce. Some more of the orange ones here you can see. All I'm trying to do is to rinse everything out and give them a good wash. I would recommend wearing gloves. Like this one here I won't use because it's going bad right here. I'm going to cut that part out, discard it, and I'm going to keep this for cooking. So any ones like that I will discard. But wear gloves. You don't want to break these and then end up with painful fingers and hands. I also have my peaches in here. I'm going to cut them and I'm going to remove the pit or the seeds from it. And with the peaches, it's pretty simple. All you do, you take a paring knife, you go around a circle, like so. You twist, yeah? And then you pop the seed part out, like so. And you discard it. And I'm putting everything onto a cookie tray because I don't have a narrow wire rack. To impart more smoke, a wire rack would be better, but for, I'm just gonna roll with what I have. I have a cookie tray, and also the peppers are gonna go directly on there. I'm gonna pop the stems off before I put it on here because everything's gonna get blended up, and I really don't need the stems. There we go, all prepped and ready. I'm gonna go outside now onto the smoker. Now if you're not doing this on the smoker, if you don't have a smoker and you want to put it in the oven, oh, look at that, the stem still, yeah? Sneaky sneak. All right, Uncle Chris got eyes still, and they still function, cataracts and everything. If you want to do it in your indoor oven, I mean to say you won't get the smoke, but you're gonna get a roasting. You want to, well, first of all, open the windows in your kitchen, turn your oven on to about 275, and you're gonna roast them in there for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. I'm gonna go 250 on my smoker, and I'm gonna go for 2 hours because I really want to impart that smoke flavor into the peaches and into the peppers and everything. Well, into those things. And you'll notice I put the peaches, the open side up. If I had a wire rack, I would put them down, but because it's a cookie sheet, I want that to absorb all of that lovely smoke flavor that we're going to be adding to it. Let's turn off the fan there. Plans changed. 300 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour in the oven. I went in the backyard, turned on the smoker, and I'm having a problem with the smoker. So I'm like, yeah, I really can't waste time in the back there. So 300 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 hour in the oven. And you can see they've taken on some color and stuff. It would have been nicer with the kiss of smoke on there. So if you do have that smoker, I would recommend doing it on the smoker, but small thing. A lot of you all don't have a smoker, so actually this may be better because then more people can make the recipe. I am going to allow this to cool completely, and again I'm going to emphasize, I think earlier when I was prepping everything I mentioned wearing gloves. I would really encourage you to wear gloves now, or tongs. Use tongs when we start handling them, because by roasting them in the oven there, the oil is going to be more on the surface of the habanero pepper. The supporting cast: salt, I'm using sea salt, a couple cloves of garlic, some mustard powder. I will add a carrot. I'm going to sort of scrape or peel the carrot first. It's going to bring a bit of sweetness, and it's going to bring a body to the finished sauce. Ginger. All I need is about a teaspoon or so of grated ginger. And I want to complement the flavors. That habanero has a natural fruitiness about it. And this is all about what's in season. So the habaneros are in season in my garden. Peaches, not too far from here. We've got the peach orchards down here. So that's what I'm. Maple syrup. So rather than use brown sugar, which I normally do, I am going to be using maple syrup, the juice of half of a lemon, just to brighten it up a bit. When it's done, that's when I'm going to add that squeeze of lemon juice in there. And I'm using apple cider vinegar. Apple cider, yeah, we make vinegar. So a lot of local ingredients here. I've got maybe 75% of the peaches and the habanero peppers in the blender. I need something high speed. This one here is old school. This thing is about 40 to 50 years old, and it's still going strong. You will have seen it in many of my older videos. As I process it, I'm going to add the remaining habaneros and peaches to here, but for now I don't want to overcrowd it. And this is where the dry mustard powder, maple syrup, and again, if you want to use brown sugar works great in here as well too. It's totally up to you what you want to use. I just appreciate using seasonal ingredients because this is part of my, it's not just about the pepper sauce or the hot sauce or it being an incredible wing sauce. So you deep fry your wings or you stick them in the oven and then you toss them in this sauce. It's also about being in season and using seasonal ingredients which are local to me. Of course, we need salt, and I'm going to add a tiny bit more salt. The printable list of ingredients with step-by-step instructions will be available at CaribbeanPod.com, so I wouldn't stress too much about it. With the carrot, I don't want too much of the carrot, maybe about 3/4 of this carrot. So I'm just giving it a rough chop just to help the blender a bit. So you see this piece here? I'm going to munch on that like Bugs Bunny in a second. And of course the ginger. You want to hit that with grate. If you wanted to use ginger powder, it's one of the few times that I do use ginger powder as well. It's totally up to you. Now you can cook this sauce, but I like it raw. I like the sauce being raw. And what happens, I will have to store it in the fridge. Also, the apple cider vinegar that we'll be adding also helps to preserve the shelf life and sort of cure it a little bit. I will crush the garlic. I don't want to overwork the thing ready to retire. I ain't trying to kill it one time. Of course, we need a couple cloves of garlic. I just love the sort of flavor that garlic adds to it. And I said it's a wing sauce, but you can use it as your everyday typical pepper sauce or hot sauce, as many of you know it as. Totally up to you, and it's great on sandwiches and your burgers and hot dogs and all those different things. You will thoroughly enjoy using this with the apple cider vinegar that I'm using. You can use plain old white vinegar. What we want to do, we want this to be a bit of a thin sauce, right? And I included the seeds and everything in the pepper, so it's going to be hot and it's going to have a bit of texture. If you wanted to use just plain old white vinegar, you can do that. It's totally up to you. So in goes that vinegar. And what I wanted to say about the vinegar is we're starting off with about 1.5 cups. If you need to add more, depending on how thick this becomes after we add the other peppers, feel free to add more. It's totally up to you how the sort of consistency that you want. The lemon, I will add it at the very end, so we're gonna hold back. And I only want half of a lemon. I want a bit more salt in there, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm gonna puree this nice and smooth. And that's it. I did end up adding another 1/2 cup, so 2 cups in total so far of the apple cider vinegar. And you can see it's breaking down. I am going to add a tiny bit more, maybe another 1/2 cup of that apple cider vinegar, because I want it a bit more smooth than this. And I also have more peppers to add. So yeah, we're gonna adjust it as we go along, but the printable recipe, which will be available, like I said, on CaribbeanPod.com, I will have the exact measurements there for you. Let's get the last batch going in there, and I'm putting it into a bigger bowl. You can see how much sauce we got out of that. And one of the things I try to impress on people is that when you make these sauces, these sort of pepper sauce kind of things, they make an excellent gift for friends and family, co-workers and stuff like that. I'm just gonna hit that a little stir, and you can see the sort of consistency that we have here. All we need to do now is add the lemon juice to it. But all you would do, you would jar it up and you would, put a little label, maybe get a little label printed, and hand them out. Christmas time coming, holiday season coming up, you want to give somebody a nice little personalized something. Here we go. We got peaches, we got habanero peppers, we've got, what else, carrots in there. Man, just wonderful flavors from that garlic and the maple syrup. So many nice flavors in here. It's gonna be hot. There's no two ways about it. And remember what I said, you got a venture kitchen and stuff like that. But great gifts. What I'm gonna do, and if you wanted to can it, you can can it. And can it means putting it into sterilized glass containers in a hot water bath, and they will keep for months in the fridge. I would store this in the fridge, and then whenever I want to use it, I'll take some out. It will last for about 6 months in the fridge easily. Just gonna reach over, grab a piece of that lemon. All we need is half of a lemon, and we're gonna hit that juice directly in there just to brighten it up. Just gonna grab my spoon. We're gonna mix that in. Yeah, we're gonna make a mess on a pretty bowl, but see what? It's all gonna make its way in there. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Always a pleasure having you all in the kitchen with me. I'm just gonna put this into my containers, and I'm good. You really need to see that. I will probably share a chicken wing recipe with you all coming up pretty soon, using this wonderful peach habanero wing sauce or pepper sauce. Remember to hit it to taste. If you need a bit more lemon in there, if a bit more salt, it's totally up to you. And it's natural. After about a week or two that you may tend to think it needs a little bit of salt, don't be afraid to add some more salt. Alright, remember, printable recipe over at CaribbeanPot.com.